All right, so today we're diving into something that's got everybody talking. Apple, right? And their big AI play, Apple Intelligence.
Yeah.
You know, especially you, I know you're a huge Apple fan, and judging by the stack of articles, I think you're just dying to know if they're like actually onto something big here or if they've completely missed the boat.
Totally, totally.
So are we looking at like a game changer or just another tech giant scrambling to catch up?
Right.
So that's our mission today. Cut through the hype and see what Apple Intelligence is really all about.
Yeah, and there's a lot of hype to cut through. I mean, you've got Apple's stock like through the roof, which, obviously investors are feeling good.
Yeah.
But then you've got all these tech analysts saying Apple is already 2 years behind the curve,
Yeah.
behind companies like ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's true. That 2-year lag keeps popping up in these articles. What does that even mean, like practically speaking, in the AI world? Because 2 years in regular time, that's one thing. But in the tech world.
Oh, it's like dog years.
Right.
In the 2 years since ChatGPT kind of blew up,
Yeah.
we've seen AI become like way more advanced, more accurate, integrated into like everything.
Yeah.
2 years in AI time is a lifetime.
So a 2-year gap in a field that's moving this fast, that has to make some investors nervous, right?
What you would think so, but you got to remember, investors, they're looking at the long game. And Apple, they have this history of kind of like hanging back and then coming in with a really polished product, really strategic.
Right.
Look at the iPod, right? They didn't invent the MP3 player, but they changed everything with the design, the user experience.
Right. Right.
The iPhone, same thing. Not the first smartphone, but they just like perfected the touchscreen and then boom, built this whole ecosystem around it.
That's true. They're like that friend who shows up late to the party, but they brought like the most amazing dish and everyone forgets that they were even mad in the first place.
Exactly. And if you listen to Tim Cook, that's exactly their strategy with AI too. He said straight up that Apple isn't behind, just focused on, doing it better.
Okay, but what does better actually mean in this context? Like a lot of these articles mention Siri, which is interesting because Siri's been around forever. But I feel like Apple Intelligence is supposed to be this major upgrade, right?
It is. It's about like moving past those basic voice commands. Siri with Apple Intelligence, it's about like baking in these deeper AI capabilities right into like the core of iOS.
Yep.
They're even already using like they've integrated ChatGPT for certain tasks within Siri already.
So they're not afraid to use the tech that's already out there while they're building their own thing. But some of these articles are saying that even with the upgrades, Siri's still not as accurate or like sophisticated as using ChatGPT just on its own. Is that a valid concern?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's valid in the sense that, yeah, there's definitely a gap, like in terms of just raw power right now.
Yeah.
But I think Apple's playing a different game here,
Okay.
Remember we were talking about the iPod, the iPhone.
Right.
It wasn't just about like individual features, right?
Yeah.
It was about the entire experience, how it all worked together.
Hmm.
And I think that's where Apple Intelligence, that's where it could really be a game changer.
You mean because it's built directly into iOS and macOS?
No.
Right. I think a couple of these articles kind of mention that, but I'm still not totally clear on what that actually means, like in practice.
Okay, so think of it this way. ChatGPT, it's like having this like, brilliant conversationalist in your pocket, right?
Right.
But they could really only work with the information that you feed them directly, right? Apple Intelligence, on the other hand, it has access to like your entire Apple world.
Oh, okay.
Your calendar, your photos, emails, even like your usage patterns,
Wow.
all while still like respecting Apple's privacy rules, of course.
Right. Right.
It's a totally different approach.
So it's not just about being smarter, it's about being more connected.
Exactly. Like imagine you're texting a friend about dinner, right? Apple Intelligence sees you're both free Friday night, knows you both love Italian. It could just like suggest a place nearby that's perfect, maybe even offer to make the reservation for you.
Wow.
Like that kind of seamless experience.
That's kind of cool.
That's where Apple's putting its chips.
Okay, so now that you mentioned privacy, because I know that's a big deal, a few of these articles were talking about that as a major difference between Apple Intelligence and like ChatGPT or whatever. What's the deal there?
Oh, privacy is huge. And it's a big selling point for Apple.
Right.
Remember when we talked about Apple Intelligence having access to all your data?
Yeah.
The key is it's mostly happening like right there on your device.
Yeah.
Not in some like, mysterious server farm somewhere.
So you're saying like my data actually stays on my phone?
Yeah, for the most part. They call it local processing. And if data does have to go to Apple servers, They use this thing called private cloud compute, which basically makes your data anonymous, protects your privacy. It's like sending a postcard instead of, your whole diary.
Right. Right. Now that makes sense, especially with all the data breaches and AI doing crazy things we haven't even thought of yet. But, it seems like with Apple Intelligence, everyone's talking about like the tech stuff, right? Is it just a really fancy chatbot or is there more to it?
Well, see, and that's what I find so interesting. They're really being careful not to just copy what everyone else is doing.
Okay.
They want to see how AI can improve the whole Apple experience.
Yeah.
And that's got to go way beyond just text.
Okay, like what else could it do?
Okay, so think about the photos on your phone, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right now, you might use that facial recognition to find pictures of your friend. But picture this. Your photos just automatically organized, but based on events, locations, even the mood of the people in the photo. Or think about accessibility, right?
Yeah.
Real-time captioning for someone who's hard of hearing or voice control
Right.
for people with mobility issues.
Right.
The possibilities are endless.
So it's less about asking Siri to settle a bit and more about AI kind of in the background, making things just work better.
Exactly. And here's the best part. Apple, they said they want Apple Intelligence on almost every single device with a screen by 2026.
Oh, wow, really?
iPhones, iPads, Macs, watches, even the Apple TV.
Right.
You could be this whole AI hub.
Okay, my head's spinning a little bit, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
2026, that's not that far away.
Right.
Can they actually pull this off? I mean, AI is so complicated. There are always roadblocks,
Yeah.
To think they could have Apple Intelligence on everything that fast.
That's ambitious.
It really is.
No question.
Yeah.
But if Apple is good at one thing, it's taking hardware and software and just making it work.
Right.
And they've been getting ready for this for years. Tons of investment in AI, the talent, the tech.
Right.
And the good news is they don't have to start from scratch, right? They're using ChatGPT now, working it in while they build their own stuff. Smart, really.
So they're playing a different game than a ChatGPT. Those guys are all about making the most powerful AI out there, but Apple's focusing on making it invisible almost.
Yeah.
But essential to the whole Apple experience. I don't know, the stage manager at a theater. You don't see them, but the show doesn't go on without them.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And that might be Apple's secret weapon.
Yeah.
They know how to make tech that people actually like using easy, reliable, private. If they can do that with AI too.
They're going to be unstoppable. So after all this, what do you think? Did Apple make the right call? Slow and steady, is that going to win the AI race, or are they going to be eating everyone's dust?
That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
$1 million question. And honestly, there's no easy answer. It's two totally different paths, right?
Yeah.
You've got that crazy fast innovation with ChatGPT, pushing the limits of what AI can even do.
Right.
But then Apple's over here hold my juice box, taking their time, making it fit into your life, and nailing a few things really, really well.
So it's a super fast sports car versus a really nice SUV. Both get you there, but the vibe is totally different.
And whoever wins, it's going to be the one who gets what people actually want.
So to everyone listening, what kind of AI experience do you want? Crazy powerful tools that are changing every day, or something smooth and easy that just works? Lots to think about, and that is our deep dive on Apple Intelligence.